Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this, the Volkswagen Vento TSI, the facelifted model, and straight away we're going to open the engine bay. Now this happens to be the TSI, which is among the best engines in the segment. TSI written here, there's insulation right there, and obviously the engine bay is kind of clean because this car when it arrived to me had done only 500 kilometers. Anyways, as you can see, the design is nice. It's inspired from the GTI, the now discontinued GTI. So you get a honeycomb grille at the front, big VW logo, and you know the bumper also gets this sharp treatment. But while the lights get the LEDs and of course the white treatment, unfortunately, yeah, the LED DRL here, and I mean the lights definitely look really very nice. Unfortunately, the fog light is a halogen. Meanwhile, you have also got a cornering light. So here is the towing hook of the vehicle. And now from the front, it looks a lot like the Polo, other than the light, of course. And the wheels also similar. Now it gets 16-inch wheels, which are, you know, have a darker shade. 195/55/16 is the tire size of this vehicle. Meanwhile, of course, the length is decent enough because it's a C-segment sedan. And yeah, they have actually integrated the boot pretty nicely indeed. You see, this door handle has this nice chrome treatment on the top, which also looks pretty good. At the rear, the difference happens to be the revision to the tail lights again. So the tail lights have this blackish sort of treatment. Fog light is on, rear fog light. So yeah, the lights look really nice. Rear parking sensors, reverse parking camera, TSI written right there, and of course the Vento badging. You get this chrome lip too. Let's open the boot right away. The boot is actually decent size. Right now I've kept my FKR kit bag here along with the FKR riding gear right inside. So yeah, decent size boot. Meanwhile, the spare wheel isn't an alloy. It's actually a smaller size tire, 175/70/14. In the interest of cost cutting, or well, there's not enough space in the well there to actually put a bigger size tire, I believe. Anyways, let's get inside the rear. First and foremost, let me tell you that this car doesn't have the space of its rivals, especially the Ciaz and the City, but there's decent amount of space on offer. However, under thigh support isn't that great. Headroom is about adequate. There's a hook, there's a handle, there's a hook, there's a handle, there's light placement right there, twin lights. So no center headrest, but there's a hump here, which means Volkswagen is clear. This is a two-seater because you get center armrest, but no cup holders right there. There's a cup holder here, which means that a person sitting in the middle is absolutely impossible. There's an AC vent right there, and of course a 12-volt charging socket as well. The good thing is you can actually move the seat ahead and, you know, forward and behind from here itself. So there's a knob for the same, which is actually a very nifty touch because now you can see there's really good amount of knee room and leg room on offer for me. And under thigh support isn't that bad when the seat is ahead. Scooped out seat back, magazine holder, same is the case on that side as well. So this is actually a nifty feature, but with this, you know, there's no one who can sit at the front. So yeah, people who want to use it as a chauffeur driven car, this is a very handy feature, really nice and thoughtful of VW. Anyways, door pockets are very slim at the rear. The good thing about all VW cars is that if you press the button on the remote, all the windows will come down. I think we'll just do a demo of the same. So here we go. Now that's not all. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to press the lock button. Okay, now this thing will roll up right now. Now, if I keep the unlock button pressed, then all the windows will come down. There they come down. So that's really a very nifty feature, but the rear window doesn't come down all the way. Meanwhile, let's put it back up and all the windows, they go up. So the good thing about VW cars is that all the windows get a one touch up and down feature. Okay, so if you want to, you know, put down any window, just press the button once, it will recline. Door pocket at the front is big enough. This is to open the boot of the vehicle. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirrors. This is to lock or unlock the vehicle, and these are the power window controls. Seat is adjustable in a lot of ways. However, still it doesn't go too low down, and the dashboard being a little high set, which means that view of what's outside isn't that great at times, especially if you are actually a tall passenger, a short passenger or a tall passenger. Like this, if I'm a tall passenger, seat doesn't go all the way, so I'm a little high, I want to be lower. Meanwhile, there's a dead pedal right there. No passive entry, no push button start, none of that right now in the Polo or the Vento, which is really disappointing. So in terms of equipment, this car misses out on a lot of stuff which is offered by rivals, like of course the two features I mentioned. No sunroof, there's a mirror here, but there's no light. The lights here, and there's a mirror here as well, which is a nifty touch. Usually cars don't get a mirror here, but VW has done a great thing by offering a mirror here. Thank you so much, VW. Anyways, internally adjustable rear view mirror is obviously auto dimming, and dashboard has a lot of hard plastics, but overall build is really nice. You won't hear a rattle from a VW car. You will not find any panel gaps either, which is a great thing. Anyways, let's turn on the vehicle. There it rose to life. Flat bottom steering wheel, and you get this piano black finish, which is also extending here. Not really, because you get this sort of silver sort of a treatment, which kind of matches the alloy wheel. Air conditioning makes some amount of noise, but you get an automatic climate control system. And below the front center armrest, there's storage space, and there is space here, like you can actually slot coins and keys. but you know, there are twin cup holders here along with space right there. Glove box is decent size, and you have space here to keep stuff on the top as well. Traction control button, defogger button, hazard light button, and this is the infotainment system. The major change here is the fact that it now gets Volkswagen Connect. Other than that, this car really doesn't have many changes for the facelift. Yeah, just new colors and a little bit nip and tuck here and there. Now this is the control for the wipers. Wipers work well. There's a lot of spray on offer. These are the controls for the indicators as well as the cruise control function. These are the controls, these are actually the buttons for the audio system, and this is for that multi-information display as well as to pick up a call as well as for voice command. So as you see, multi-information display is giving a lot of information like time, temperature, what is the speed, what is the average fuel economy, and all those things. And you know, it's a very simple meter. You should have got a digital display like on the Polo facelift. So here, as you can see, this is the speedometer, this is the tachometer, and the buttons to actually trip the meter here as well. So gap position indicator is also shown right there. Very simple car, nothing complex, nothing wow as such. Yes, it's old right now, but the good thing is that in spite of the age, it still looks very classy and nice. Let's turn on the audio system right away, for which I will actually need my phone, which is actually draining battery by sitting right there pretending to be mirror on the sun visor. Let's play an audio right away. Audio quality is really very nice. It feels good to hear how well the whole cabin is insulated, so nothing really rattles or vibrates even if you play an audio at a very high pitch. So that's all, not much to talk about this vehicle. Let's get driving right away. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning, getting it into manual mode, turning off the traction control, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go, revving the motor. No. That's absolutely ironical that this turbocharged direct injection motor, which is 1.2 liters in displacement, doesn't really rev past 6,000 RPM, which is very disappointing because Volkswagen's own diesel engine revs almost close to 5,500 RPM. I simply do not understand how the petrol does not rev considerably more than their diesel engine, which is a surprise. Now this one produces 105 horsepower and torque output is 175 Newton meters between 1500 to 4100 RPM. So there is a minor lag, and that minor lag can be attributed to this DSG gearbox, because this DSG gearbox isn't that responsive lower down. So once you get off the line with the left foot on the brake and the right foot on the accelerator, rather when you try to do a launch, I mean, it doesn't respond, and you kind of lose half a second or even more when you want to get off the line. That is disappointing. That's why a manual gearbox is really going to help matters a lot. The gearbox just has a mind of its own even in manual mode. I mean, I'm in manual right now, but still it chooses to shift up around 5,500 RPM, which is kind of disappointing. But now I'm holding the revs close to 6,000 RPM, and it's not going to shift unless and until it hits 6,000 RPM now. But you know, this manual mode is not really manual because it will not hold on to a gear even if you wanted to, but you can actually manually take control of things. That's the only positive here. But that said, there are no paddle shifters on offer, which is very disappointing because a rival of the Vento actually offers paddle shifters, and you really need paddle shifters with a great automatic gearbox, or at least with a great engine. And this engine is absolutely refined, becomes sportier past 5,000 RPM, but then you know that band is very small, just 1,000 RPM to play with, which is again supremely disappointing. This should have revved past 7,000 RPM considering it's a small engine, 1.2 liter displacement. Come on motor, rev the nuts out. Okay, there, at least it does that right away. Okay, there is introducing the new Polo and Vento power to play. Where is the power? Where is the power? Where is the power? 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes slightly more than 11 seconds. Top speed is in excess of 170 kilometers per hour. So it's decently quick, but the refinement levels are staggering. Okay, low end lag is not there from the engine, I believe, because I think they have done a good job in calibrating the turbo. The lag comes from the DSG box. Mid-range is really nice and strong, and top end is decent but disappointing because of the early shifts, or rather the lack of punch past 6,000 RPM, or rather the fact that the motor will not rev past 6,000 RPM. However, the good thing is overall power delivery is very linear. So this isn't really a driver's car, but it's definitely a car which will please people who appreciate refinement, because this 7-speed dual clutch gearbox is supremely smooth and refined. It's quite fast with shifts as well. Right now when I'm driving it in manual mode, I realize one thing, that okay, it's willing to rev every given moment and pull all the way, making quite a sound. if it's manual mode, you better upshift at 6000 rpm only all the time. But sometimes it decides, okay, we'll do it less than 6000 rpm. So there are three primary modes on offer of the gearbox. There is the drive mode, which is regular drive mode, which will upshift early just to make everything very smooth, refined and efficient as well. There's a manual mode which I'm driving right now. I will slot it back into drive and I'll push it into sport. Now sport mode is really very nice because again it will hold on to the revs and it will aggressively downshift as well. So you know, when you decrease the speed and when you get into the gas, it will not hesitate to pull it back a gear. Now because it has dual clutches, it obviously has one set of gears, or rather one clutch just for the set of even gears and one clutch for the set of odd gears, which means that it can aggressively shift. You know, if it has to downshift, it does it in a flash. So it can go from 6th to 3rd without hesitating whatsoever. And right now we are in 6th gear. It's a 7-speed box. So right now in 6th gear, you can see it's comfortable, it's refined, it's smooth, but bang onto the gas, it downshifts to 4th and immediately pulls ahead with a lot of enthusiasm as well. So fuel economy should be between 9 to 14 kilometers per liter depending on where you're driving this car and how you're driving this car. Meanwhile, the suspension is set up on the softer side, which means that overall ride quality is very compliant. However, you know, road noise is just slightly more in this car, especially over bad roads. You can feel a bit of that inside the cabin as well. But you know, this isn't a car which is aimed towards cornering, although body roll is very well contained somehow. It is a car which just is like a cruiser. It's like a Grand Tourer sort of a car in the segment, which means that if you want to drive it fast for longer distances, it's comfortable, it's refined, it has good amount of high-speed stability, and it's just more reassuring to drive than most cars in the segment in terms of safety and feel-good factor as well. In fact, even the braking is very strong on this car. So when you apply the brakes, it's sure-footed. There's good amount of grip on offer, but around the corners, okay, the steering isn't that feedback rich. Okay, the steering actually is kind of direct, but it just doesn't inspire you to push it hard and fast. So that communication is a bit lacking, which is again a problem with the Volkswagen Group cars itself, whether it's an Audi or a VW. It just doesn't have that directness or that communication which you would expect. But you know, the good point here is that it's easy, it's light, it's nimble, and it's a car which is so comfortable somehow and gives you the feel-good factor as well. Now compared to the Volkswagen Polo GT TSI, what is the difference? Well, the engine is the same, tuning is the same, everything is the same, but this is a bigger car, it's a heavier car. So it's not as responsive as the GT TSI, it's actually around half a second slower as well. But you know, you really don't make out that difference in city driving, because I mean, unless and until you rev the nuts out of this motor, you realize, yeah, I'm driving a bigger car which is heavier and slightly slower as well. But this engine actually replaced the 1.6 liter unit, which was paired to an automatic gearbox, a torque converter unit in the Vento lineup long back. I think 2013 is when it happened. So with the GT TSI, or rather the TSI motor, which obviously is a fantastic engine, really refined, punchy as well. The only gripe for enthusiasts is the fact that it's slower than the regular Polo, which is obviously more efficient as well, slightly although. But most importantly, the problem here happens to be that for enthusiasts, this DSG gearbox doesn't offer the best out of the engine in terms of refinement, comfort and all, yeah, blah blah blah. But in terms of outright fun, holding the revs and downshifting and extracting the most out of this turbo motor, well, there's a slight bit of disappointment for those looking for the Honda City VTEC thrills. The Volkswagen Vento 1.2 is available in 3 variants. Prices start at 14.32, go all the way till 15.73 lakhs. So yes, it is 2 lakhs cheaper than the diesel automatic. But you know, if you're just looking to buy a car with this powertrain option, it's just better to save around 3-4 lakh rupees and get the Polo GT TSI, because it just looks better somehow as a sportier looking vehicle and obviously has better performance as well. But if you're looking for a comfortable sedan, a sedan which is refined, has one of the best, or no, not the one of the best, the best gearbox in the segment, there's no looking further than the Volkswagen Vento. Agreed, it's an old car, however, it's still gold. Gold is definitely gold here. The overall feel of the car, build quality and the powertrain, the refinement, the fun to drive factor as well, without actually making you take effort, because of the overall smoothness of everything, just makes it stand out completely. The Vento, after all, is a car which puts every other car down in terms of build. What is happening to your ears?
Nothing, you were screaming.
I was screaming, really. I don't know why she's holding her ears. So on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. I will see you guys in the next video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment as well. Bye bye.